And so I'm going to actually record it because somebody's asked me that they can't get on, so they'd like to have it recorded. So it will be recorded as well if anybody feels that they're not getting the best from their technology. So good evening, everybody, and welcome to this Indigo, the colour of 2022. I'm Alison. I think I've met most of you at either shows, Mind, Body, Spirits up at Olympia, or shows around the country doing colour. And for those that I haven't met, well, it's good to see that you've come on, and hopefully the next 45 minutes to an hour will be interesting for you. So, I mean, just to really go back on the fact that for lots of people, if you're very involved in colour, you'll know what I do, or you'll know what colour is all about. But this evening, my intention is to give you a little bit of insight into 2022, what we can expect via talking in colour. And also I'm going to break it down so that your unique personality colour, how it's affected in 2022. So what we know with colour is that it's an ancient old way of healing. We can go back to the Egyptian times, where if we look in the pyramids, in the hieroglyphics, there are menus or recipes for colour that was used for healing, for all sorts of things. So for example, there's in one of the hieroglyphics in one of the pyramids, there's a picture of a fire, lots of smoke, and then there's lots of malachite and the colour green underneath. And they felt that green was a really good colour to help with the breath. So it would give more oxygen to the body. So they used a lot of malachite in their pyramids for breathing. So sort of colour therapy stemmed from that time, from the ancient history. And each colour that we see and what colours we have around us affect us, both physically, emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually. So there's a big impact. And what I'm loving as we're starting into 2022 is that everybody is talking about vibration, and colour is a vibration. Light is a vibration, and colour is light broken down into smaller vibrational units. So we know that as we move on through these 2020s, we're going to be using more with vibrational work. I can see that Ruth's on here and Nicola McCartney, both using colour as a vibration. Ruth with animals. So definitely has an area now where people are looking more in depth to it. So what we know about the colour of the year is that we have to take the numerological value of the year. So we mix numerology and colour together, and 2022 adds up to the number 6. So we know this is a 6 year, and the number 6 relates to the colour indigo. And so this deep blue, and I actually went out and got myself a top with lots of sparkly on, but also for the indigo as the indigo year, is that this colour is a deep blue with a little bit of violet in it. And it accesses the third eye area of the body. And so as we start coming into this 2022 year, we're going to start to feel more around our eyes and our ears and our sinuses. And we're going to be able to actually access more information for that. So it's going to allow us to actually receive information from those areas. We're going to hear more. We're going to see more. We're going to, because it's our nasal passages, sense more. So instantly 2022 in indigo means that we're actually going to feel much more intuitive. I have a feeling all of you on this Zoom have those abilities. So we're going to really, really work together to try and intuit more information. And so with the indigo, it will open up all of those passages, all of those accesses to our ears, to our eyes, and to our sinus area. So actually we'll also smell more. So it means it actually activates our 5 senses. And with that very intuitive color comes a depth. So I want to just go back to 2020, because in 2020 we were in green, and because it was a 4. And in 2020 we were at the heart element. So we saw that 2020 arrived and it was working with our heart chakra, and Mother Gaia went, okay, time to stop. We need to take a step back. We need to look what's in our hearts of everything that's going on. And so it brought around the energy of green. In 2021, we moved into blue, up the chakras to the throat area. So all about the communication, all about what we say. Blue also rules truth and integrity. So we are slowly moving up the chakra balances during these 20s time. So now moving into the indigo, we're further up. We're connecting more to our crown. We're connecting more to the universal consciousness. So this indigo color is so deep, it actually takes us into the midnight area. So when we look out that night sky, it actually isn't black. It's a deep, deep, deep blue with indigo in it. And so we always call the midnight area the indigo area because it's about depth. So we are going to be looking at what's deep and doing some really deep work this year as a collective. So even if you think that you've been digging deep for the last few years, I have a feeling that you're going to not be surprised, but this year is going to take you even deeper. Indigo also represents structure. Indigo is about how structure is put together. It's about justice and the law. So with this year, we will see quite a lot about justice, fairness, the law, structure itself. Now, we could take this in 2 ways. We could say, is there going to be more of it? Because we've had quite a lot of it already, with lots of rules, lots of regulations. And I would say to that, that it will continue. There will be a continuation of keeping the system structured. There will be a want and need to do that. But what I love about indigo is because it digs deep, and when it's on its spiritual path, it breaks down the structures. So on the other side, we could see structures fall. We could see a restructuring, really looking and saying, is this fair? Is this justice? Are all these rules relevant for the life that we want to live? So there is definitely huge swings this year between what could be structured, what could be broken down, and what could be restructured. And therefore, it makes it quite an exciting year, because it actually is asking for the spiritual or the vibrational element to be included in it. It's the all-seeing eye. It's, you know, the seeing the future and coming to the past. So I think what we're going to see is a lot of those swings one way or another. There'll be a real fight to keep things the same, to not allow change to happen. But underneath, on the other side, there'll be a reinstatement of a new structure, new fairness, new laws. For me, this is the colour of Judaism. So as a minister, as a multi-faith minister, when I wear any of my clothes, I would use indigo as Judaism. Judaism has so many rules and regulations in it. It was all about the law. So if we think of that time, there was also a man that came along and maybe changed. Who knows if the story is right or not? But there was definitely a teacher, a spiritual man. And in that, we had to relook at the rules. Instead of the 486, he turned all the tables over in the temple and said, you only need 2 rules. There is a universal rule, is to love each other as you love yourself. And so I feel that energy is very much about that in this year. There's also in this midnight colour, with my little sparkly bits, is the sparkly bits show a lot more. So a lot of secrets and things that have been going on collectively are going to surface. So we will learn about things that maybe we don't want to learn about, but we will see things come to the fore that have not been right for quite a long time. And these secrets will come out of the underworld. There's also, and I know I can feel it already, the beating of the drum from our ancestors. I can feel it in me. It's a vibration that I feel every morning. And even as I speak to you now, I've got goosebumps all over my body in the fact that our ancestors are beating their drums from behind, they're from wherever around us, to remind us that all the healing modalities we have been learning, the shaman sides, the earth energies, they're all really, really, really important. We have to remember from that past not to be only looking at the new technologies. We need to be attaching and connecting to our earth energies, the shamanic energies. The fact that Mother Gaia is so important to us. And that also means, as our ancestors did, we need to go back a little bit into that. Maybe growing our own foods. Definitely coming back into community. So this indigo is all about digging deep and finding what was right at that time so that we can move on forward. And so I'm just going to share my screen with you. And because I did put it on a little bit of a presentation, so I'm going to add into this. So my key themes here, this is for the collective, are thinking outside the box, creating new structures for bringing in simple solutions, working with the earth, growing microgreens, growing your own vegetables. All values and principles are being challenged. People wanting to be heard. This colour is the colour of the expert. When we dig deep with indigo, we are digging right down into the expert side of us. We're going deep within our soul, the deep energy within us. So there is a collective that wants to be heard. So I feel that those people that are experts that have not been heard so far are going to start to be heard. Voices that we haven't been able to connect with are going to come forward. Justice and fairness are going to come into direct focus. The law is going to be brought to the fore. Personally, I've been learning a lot about common law and the law of the land way back, Alfred Great time, and the fact that that law still exists with us. So which law should we be following? You know, is it the whole commercial law? Is it whole maritime? Is it common law? So law is going to have a big place to play in this year. This I took from Pam Gregory. So if any of you watch Pam Gregory, and I have got her details at the end as an astrologer, I loved this. Revelations and revolutions taking place throughout the whole year. And so that's what, out of the midnight sky comes the shiny light. And it's going to shine on certain places. Just secrets coming out throughout the year. And chaos and large swings in how to move forward. So it will all feel a little bit chaotic. But the great thing is about that is the last 2 years, at some level, has been calm. People have followed, we have all followed our rules and regulations for the safety of everybody, and that will continue. But there will be a bit more chaos. What's right? What's wrong? We've already seen it this last month. Do we go out? Do we go and see family? Don't we? Who should be at home? Do we take a lateral flow test? Now we're not doing a PCR. What? So this whole chaotic will come out even more and give us large swings from one to the other. So you most probably all know your own colour. But if you don't know your own colour, then here is a quick calculation to find out your colour personality. So I've taken this person is the 23rd of October 1978. So they're born on the day 23. So 2 plus 3 equals 5. So if you were born on the 14th, 1 plus 4 equals 5. If you were born on the 12th, 1 plus 2 equals 3. So this is just an example. So you write down your birthday and then you look at your first number. You then look at the month that you were born. And if you were January, you will be born in a number 1. If you were February, you will be born as a number 2. If you were March, you'd be born as a number 3. So in this example, October is a number 1. 1 plus 0 equals 1. And then you've got the big number to add together, your year of birth. So if you want to add your year of birth together, I'm 1964, I add 1 plus 9 plus 6 plus 4. In this example, it's 1 plus 9 plus 7 plus 8. And that adds up to 25 in this case. And then you add 2 and 5 together. Oh, so I've done it wrong. 5 and 2 is 7. That's my fault. I thought it was 8. 9, 10, 18, 19, 21, 2, 3, 4, 25. Yeah, so it's 7. That's me typing in something incorrectly. So that should read 7. So it would be 5 plus 1 plus 7. So actually it'd be 13. And 1 plus 3 equals 4. Sorry, that's completely my mistake of not adding up. I'm no good at maths. Supposed to be an expert in this and didn't get the number right. If you add up your date of birth then and you get a number, then if you are a number 1, you're red. If you're a number 2, you're orange. If you're a number 3, you're yellow. If you're a number 4, you're green. If you're 5, you're blue. If you're 6, you're indigo, and I'll put that white there so you can see it. 7 is violet, magenta is 8, and gold is 9. Okay, so depending what all your numbers are will depend on what colour you are. Okay, so I'm going to start with the key themes for these personalities. Okay, somebody just give me a chat, so I'll just see if that's okay. So our key themes here for your your unique color personalities. So if you are a red or you know any reds, and by the way, if you'd like a copy of this presentation, I can email it to you. I'll do that at the end. So if you're a red, you might find that in an indigo year, you take one step forward, but 2 steps back. Reds are all about energy and moving forward. And in the indigo, it will be about structure and doing it at the right time. But because because we're in a bit of a chaotic year, we could be. Okay, let me just get you, Val. I'm just going to stop share. Has everybody got their mute on? I think most of you have, from what I can see. Somebody's just getting a little bit of feedback. I'll just double check. Sometimes that happens when we've got too many people in, or lots of people in the group. Okay, so that should be okay now, Val. So just put that in. Okay, so for reds then, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Reds might feel more in tune with the energies, because in a green and blue years, the last 2 years, they are the complementary colours in a way to red. Now we move into indigo, the reds will feel a little bit more in tune with the energies, instead of it being the opposite. Because there's so many swings backwards and forwards, reds will enjoy the constant movement, as red likes that change. It is a really powerful year for red, digging deep to find out who they really are and what they really want. So red, you can go really deep into everything that is going on, because red is the colour of courage, and therefore having that courageous energy inbuilt will allow you to actually go deeper than maybe some of the other colours choose to. And also the indigo is going to raise the intuition level and the psychic connection. It's going to happen for all colours, but for red, it will really give that a real powerful boost, because it's base chakra and we're going up into the higher echelon chakra. So for orange, it's the complementary colour, it's the opposite. So although oranges, I think, have found the last 2 years quite challenging too, because of keeping things very structured, it's going to be a little bit tougher this year. The chance to be creative with this very structured indigo energy is quite challenging. But if you're in the healing world, you can add all your creativity of orange into that. Oranges may feel a little bit restrictive. It may be a year to travel the mind more than the physical body. Orange is all about freedom, all about that ability to travel. So it may be good to actually really use the mind travel for the oranges. And because oranges think outside the box, because they're so creative, they can come up with some great, amazing new industries and businesses, which are all going to be about the people. It's that creative element. And because all this energy is about community and people, then I think there could be some amazing things that oranges really create, and even their creative arts themselves. So fashion and all of that will be very interesting this year. For the yellows, it's a good year for planning and restructuring. So actually, yellows love to plan, use their mind. So with the indigo, the fact that there's restructure going on will be very, very interesting. Yellows quite like to have a plan and be in control of their plan. So they may have to let go of a few things on their implementation of things. It's a great year for yellows to study more information, but to use an intuitive angle with it. It's really important that the yellows shine their light all around, especially with the children. And so that is definitely important. And to bring clarity into what may be very chaotic times. So yellows will be great at putting that little plan in, things in place, making sure that things are learned and implemented properly. So I think for yellows, although it may be a little bit challenging, it's less challenging than the orange. It's not hitting that freedom element. For greens, really, they need to be outside. So working outside from the spring to heal their soul. Any projects with nature. So all community projects that are going on with people growing their own veg, actually doing micro growing, all of those things. Greens is going to be really nice for them to feel part of that and getting out and about in that nature and actually really connecting back with Mother Earth, because Gaia is really calling out for us to look after the planet, not from a climate change perspective, but from not dropping so many plastics and using what we've already got, not changing it. Greens may need to protect their heart during the year too, as things could be quite challenging. And greens need to make sure they're not isolated, so that they are with other people, because it could be that if they stay alone, then actually the isolation has been for a few years. It was possible to do in the blue year, definitely possible to do in a green year, but now need to get out and be with people, be part of that community, really bringing the teams together. And they can also bring in a little bit of orange, letting go and freedom. Then when we come to the blues, so for the blues, it's all about communication. It's all about, I'm just going to let somebody else in. It's all about speaking. It's all about the ability to trust and feel comfortable in it. What I love about blue, as it was last year, it has a calmer flow to it, but it can feel quite cool. So for the blues, their intuition is on the increase. Their healing powers are expanding with the indigo, especially if they connect in with the ancients, with all of the healing energies. They need to work with the ancestors to add ancient wisdom. So if you want to do a shamanic workshop, if you want to do crystals, if you want to do earth energies, if you want to do anything like that as a blue, this is the year to do it with the indigo. It will open up all that third eye energy. After a year of truths, it's going to take time to assimilate the information that we've got. So it's allowing for the blues to allow that information to just become part of them and not too cool. It's really time for blues to step into who they are and not to hide away. and to bring orange in to help balance that. Because the indigo and the blue is cool, you can see the colour even on the screen. All the feelings of truth and integrity and healing for blue are going to be expanded this year. And that's the importance of the blue personality within 2022. If you're an indigo, this is your year, because it is allowing you to open up your intuition and connection even more than you've already got it. So it's a chance to restructure your life. Look at what you need, look at what you don't need. The justice and fairness is going to be really strong. And when indigos really feel that, it's with huge energy. So it's also to recognize that you need to be gentle with yourself as an indigo, to actually allow those energies to filtrate into the body. And the one thing about indigo and for me that I see more than anything else, because it's about justice and fairness and structure, it can create fear. And that's where we're going to see the swing of the fear and the openness, fear and the openness. So don't let the fear keep you from being yourself. Make sure that you have yourself in everything that you're doing. And I would absolutely advocate for having orange around if you're an indigo this year. It's really about balance. It's to let go and release any emotions. So if you're actually connecting really deeply with yourself, then some things are going to feel as though you've lost them. So any feelings of grief you can get rid of, any negative emotions by adding the orange around. Oops, sorry. So for the violets, I think it may be a bit of an overactive imagination this year. So make sure that you get some time to sleep. The crown energy is up and open. We have more light on this planet than we've ever had before. It may not feel like it, but all the portals have been opened. And so for the violets with their crown energy, going to feel it so much more. And then you've got the indigo frequency. All the channels are open. So they're open to the violets for all their intuitive messages. I would suggest, and if I was a violet, I would definitely make a space in my room or house where I could just have a little altar or somewhere where I could sit quietly to meditate and actually just step back from the chaos. So I'd make it into a place, a booth where I could just go and not experience anything around me. Violet's natural inspiration is supporting the collective. We go into a violet year in 2023. So as we're using the 2022 changes, the violet is going to be starting to feel as though that's coming as well. So I think quite a lot of red for violets around, just to ground. Because, hey guys, we've got 3 or 4 years now where we could happily live off the planet and not have to be here physically. So, and this sort of starts it from the indigo feeling. So little bits of red around for the violets, making sure that feel grounded, living life normally, but using that powerful connection in the crown. And then magentas, number 8s. Wow, this is a full on for magentas. So magenta is in the aura. It's right up in the Akashic records. So indigo is opening up all the past and all the future. So if you're a magenta, touching into those Akashic is going to be really powerful this year. It's full on. So everything's going to be seen from a loftier perspective, all that understanding with the indigo, the expert, will be coming out. So don't allow any fear from the indigo, because that will be in there as well, to stop you doing anything. Just try and balance your doing and thinking together. I think we will move forward in certain ways with the magenta, but it's a bit like the red. One step forward, maybe 2 steps back. So again, with the magentas, all sorts of transformation ideas, all sorts of things to take forward, seeing everything from this lovely, wonderful, lofty perspective, but actually may take a backward step at times, and it might feel very disappointing. So the real key for magentas is use their non-judgmental energies. When magenta is in balance, it has the ability to not judge, and therefore sees everything as one collective. And therefore, if we can keep those energies going for the magentas, then that's going to really help with us moving up to the 5th dimension from the 3rd, which is what we're doing. The whole of the planet is changing, and we're slowly walking towards that. And, you know, we want it tomorrow, but unfortunately, that is not in the whole divine timing. It's going to take time. So magentas need to spread their non-judgmental. It's all okay. You could be red and you can be blue. You could be out there active and you can stand back, and allow that gentleness to actually fall on the collective. And the last one is for the gold. For golds, yeah, right up there, stellar gateway. Don't allow your intuition to go into overdrive. By that, what I mean is, you know, golds have quite a karmic journey. So whatever you put out there may have a different effect than you think it is. So it's fine to have all the intuition going on, but don't allow it to override everything. So karma plays a part in gold's journeys, and therefore it will have an effect on what you put out there. Ancient wisdom is definitely the key for golds. Opening up the healing channels, plenty of drumming, getting down to that base chakra, lots of earth energies. And golds are holding the light along with everybody, but that's their main. They're here for service and they're holding the light. So golds need to carry on holding the light without playing the martyr. So I don't see a leader suddenly appearing from outside into our collective world at the moment. It might happen, but I don't see that. It's us that have to raise it up. And gold's job is to spread unconditional love as far as the eye can see. So they are your personality colours for the year, and what you can expect to sort of be doing with them. You also have your personal year. I'm not going to do each of those. They go back to those colours. But if you add your date of birth, so for example, I'm 57. I'll be 58 in March. So if I add 7 plus 5 gives me 12. Yeah, I'm adding it up properly now. So that makes me in a 3-year. When I come to March, I will be going into a 4-year of green. So I will read the green element as well as the gold element, because my personal year colour is telling me a little bit about what I can expect for myself. My personality is the colour that I am always. So you can look at your personal year colour with this as well, and you can look at your personality. So it affects for both. So I think just as a little bit about what's significant, I inevitably, like all of you, look at astrology. I actually trained when I was 19 in astrology, but I have not used it for many, many years. And then I, like all of you, I mix things in. So everything that I pulled out from different people gave me some dates and times that are significant throughout the year. So, and that is what I think is really interesting with the colour. So January, where we are now, we're in violet. And so we are, could you excuse me just one moment? Let me just, oh, you're a pain, cat. Go out then. I do apologise. He was clawing my leg and it was hurting. So I couldn't bear it anymore. Had to let him out. Poor old Tiggs. So let's go back. So January is in violet. We're in a violet month and we're in an indigo year because it's 6 + 1. So it's 7 for the violet. So violet, we had 2 violet months last year. The first one was in March when the pandemic came, in 2020 was when the pandemic came. And then we had 2 lots last year. We have one more now, and it's a little bit like a repeat. So it's violet. So again, crown energies, lots of quite chaotic energy going on. And so we are finding ourselves, I mean, at the moment, things haven't been in lockdown, but lots of talking about it. We know this is cold season. We know this is where the variants are around. So January, quite tough. And then we move into February into magenta. And there is going to be a bit more of a transformation in February, but still things are changing. And then March, we come to gold. And that is completion. So gold is always a color of completion. So by the time we get to March, the end of March, then we're completing something in a cycle. So according to Steve Judd, I don't know if you watch him, I think he's a great astrologer. He's quite rare, he's on YouTube, and Pam Gregory. That plus the first 2 weeks of April are the hardest months of the year. And I think that's really interesting in terms of astrologically, everything is squared, Venus is retrograde, all sorts of things going on. So they were talking about up to the 2nd week in April. Interestingly, April is red. So it's like a new beginning. So the colours link with those, with also the astrological outlook. There are hard moons in the first 3 months. Our next new moon, or our next full moon is quite powerful and quite challenging. And Steve talked very much about the little bit of the chaos, the pulling of the justice and the law and not wanting to change, but people finding their warrior spirit in it all. So for him, he talks about the fact that he feels the end of the pandemic will be in April, but it flares again a little bit in May and then in November, and then it's over. And this is what he talks about. Pam is of exactly the same view, that astrologically the squares and the conjunctions start to feed off in April. And as I went through each of the months of the year, I could see that, because April is red, May is orange, June is yellow, and then we have a summer where we have green and we have blues. So we have a new beginning in that April time. And as also from the 1st of February, we move into the Chinese year of the tiger. And the tiger, of course, is a very powerful creature. It's also a warrior. And tigers tend not to be able to be leashed or kept on a leash. And it's a water tiger for 2022. So water is emotion. So this is all about the emotional tiger finding its place and its warrior energy. And so I see that this significant change will happen April, May. And then we will find ourselves in a slightly different arena. There will be some other things coming in and things that will crop up. But there definitely these whole of the last 2 years and just the beginning of this year will see its way out. So 2022 is really significant in that indigo, because it just means that the structures are being reassessed. So if you are interested in the astrology, then Steve Judd, I personally think, is good to listen to. He doesn't go on for too long. Pam Gregory is also really good to listen to. So, oh, sorry. Oops, let me just go back very quickly. So I just wanted to share with you just something. Now, I think Nicola already spoke. I have created calendars for this year. And each one has a month by month and the calendar at the bottom. So it just gives you the frequencies and the energy of each month through the calendar year. So if you'd like them, they're £6. They're on the Colour Ministry shop, plus postage and packing. And I have those available. And I have also created a quantum light ascension, which is part of the Quantum Light Association. Ascension, it's a spray. Now, I was led to do this because in it is the indigo colour. It's water, but it has essential oils, it has zeolite. So it is a detoxer, and it also is an uplifter to open the pituitary and the pineal gland. So it's called QLA, Quantum Light, and it's Ascension. And in it, as I say, are all natural products. These are not on my website because I was not going to do too much with this. Although I have my little light colours that are in sprays, then this is not. This is a detoxer. This is to help protect your third eye from 5G, chemical trails, mold, all the toxins that are around us all the time, the fluoride in the water, etc. But it also, it's a spray for the back of the throat. And I decided that if people wanted it, they could ask me, and I would then douse how many drops people need and over what period, so it's uniquely for each person. When it was made, what was interesting is that the indigo was really strong. I mean, we even drummed into this water. So we use drums, we use light, we use the indigo, we use green as a detoxer in there as well, and we used orange as a release mechanism. But it has the zeolite in it to help the detox for it. And when we were doing it, I did it with a colleague of mine, and the animal that appeared, even before I thought about Chinese New Year, was Aslan. And he appeared in his energy. I never see things like that, but he appeared in his energy and sat down by the bowl that we were doing. And basically, he was just saying, I'm giving you my warrior energy too. So if anybody's interested, then you need to get in touch with me for this at alison@thecolourministry.co.uk. I really don't want to just put it out as available on a shop, because I want it to be uniquely for people, how many drops, what they're doing, and a little bit about what the actual essence is made of. So they are the two things, the wall calendar if you're interested, but also the QLA, and you can get in touch with me for that. The other thing, that if you want an more in-depth reading for yourself through all the months, then I'm offering to anybody who's on the call for £25, and it'll be 40 minutes. And then we can just go through the months and the energies for you as an individual, than just the general energies that we've talked about. So I just want to go back to this screen, because I think these are really important. The 2022 positive vibes are gratitude, seeing the positive in everything, in even the small things. So from an indigo perspective, it's just about being grateful. Absolutely rises up your energy and your vibration. Build your immune system and live in a clean body. Now, I like cake as much as anybody, so I'm not saying don't do that. But the more we can build this year, our immune, we are going in colour to indigo, then we're going to violet, then we're going to magenta, then we're going to gold. So we're going to be 2025 before we're back down in any physical colours of our system. So the more this year we build our immune system, the more we will feel grounded when we actually move up those changes. What I also thought was interesting is Steve Judd just did a little video yesterday where he put out that what happens in April this year will re-happen in 2025. And if we've learned all the lessons that we need to learn, and we've dug deep, and we've accessed our spirituality, and we've connected to where we need to be, then we're going to have some even more, we're going to have such amazing things happen that it's going to be so positive. So if we build our immune system and live in a clean body, our vibration is going to work with those energies. So focus on the light. The surges of the photonic light and frequency are going to be fast and furious this year. The light that is on this planet is huge. And you may be able to feel it in those moments when you're out for a walk and there's not too much around and there's no trails in the sky and you're just in the blue sky and the light. That is, you know, that is where we're getting the light. And we're getting very powerful frequencies. If you believe or don't in the galactic force, they are also working hard as well. So I think we're all starting to feel that powerful energy. Meditation and just sitting with ourselves will serve even higher purpose this year, taking us really deeply into who we are and what purpose we have. Keeping your pineal and your pituitary glands free from toxins will help you feel and see more clearly. And of course, the key colour, we love the indigo, we want it around us because we need to structure, but if we have too much of it and we don't balance, we need the orange so that we have freedom, creativity, letting go, joy, fun, and of course, a little bit of drama. Orange loves drama. So we will have that drama to keep us excited by the year as well. So these are my positive vibes for this is what I never do New Year's resolutions. I just hope that I can tap into the energy of what's around. But I find the gratitude is one of the biggest things, and really noticing that light. The light is amazing. And I know we've had very grey days recently. But when the sun does come out, we had a little bit today, it was very cold last night, it's bright. Those photonic light is really fast and furious. And we're going to have a lot of that this year. So although we've got the midnight colour, we will have the light to actually see us in, and we need to not fall short. We use this colour for psychic, for all-seeing, for structure, for justice and fairness. And then we leave the fear alone and allow the other colours to just allow us to move forward. Okay, I'm going to stop my screen sharing. if anybody wants to ask a question, there's not too many of us, you can unmute yourself and ask a question. Or I can, I can't.
I'd just like to thank you very, very much for a stimulating discussion, Alison. I've learned such a lot.
Thank you.
Yes, it's tremendous. And to bring all the elements all together, and the fact that the year of the tiger, the colours, the astrological part of it, it all just comes into one, doesn't it, really?
It does, and that's, you know, that's what I love about the colour aspect. You know, it just brings it all into one. And I think this year we're going to see more of colour being used in much more powerful ways. And the more we change, and the more we go back to our natural ancestry and the ways of healing, we're going to get to use it more and more. So you know, Indigo has always scared me a little, because it is third eye and it's deep, and it can feel heavy. But I think if we look at it as it allowing us to actually get to the depth of who we are, to really attain our psychic abilities in terms of connecting into each other, I think it will be a very powerful force for good this year with that colour.
Yeah, I definitely get that feeling.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Nicola. Anybody else got any other questions? Is everybody okay?
Alison?
Hi, Diane.
Yeah, what I was just like to comment on, I got your books last year when we met, and I made charts up for my friends. So it was interesting as you were going through each of the, oh, just a minute, my battery's gone. It was interesting as you were going through each of the colours what the year would be, to know how it's, you know, probably going to affect my friends as well, and I'll definitely be in touch to let them know. So
Okay.
if anybody hasn't got your books, maybe get them.
Thank you, Diane.
Well, what I also did was I went to Poundland and I got a little geometry set, and they've got the round protractor, so I was then able to make up the charts as well. So that made it very easy to see as well. But yeah, definitely, I think I'm going to be speaking to people.
Good. And what I'll do is all the information that I have in the presentation, I will send to each one of you, so you've got that as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you know, if anybody needs to get in touch, just email me, telephone me, and I'm happy to talk about colour at any point.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else?
Hi Alison, it's Ruth.
Hello Ruth, hiya.
Right, my love. I was just thinking, there's been a lot of discussion, or a lot of sort of unraveling and talk about the indigo children.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it?
And I just found out a friend of mine, she's expecting a baby this summer. And this was something that she was actually quite intrigued about, to think that she was having a baby in an indigo year and indigo children. So have you got any sort of brief insights as to what that will mean for the children that might be born this year?
Well, I think it's very interesting, because people are talking about rainbow children being born in these 20s years. So having all the colours, but actually and they talk about crystal children, so the 90s, indigo children were more about the 70s. But I actually think if you're born in that indigo year, automatically you're an old soul.
Yeah.
You know, indigo is this old soul color. It's deep. I mean, we're all old souls, but it's old soul that has a mission to play. And so I think the kids that are going to come now this year in the indigo year, and it's a 2022. So if you think of the numbers, it's a master 22.
Yeah.
You know, I think these kids are really going to, well, just know what it's all about before they've even got here.
Yeah.
Even though their colours might be different,
Yes.
and be born on different colours, I really think that they're intuitively, they're going to really know what has been going on, what is clear about things. Super sensitive, because it is a super sensitive colour, but about the justice and the law. They're just going to be connected to universal law. That's my feeling about it. It's like they'll know instinctively.
Yeah.
I mean, most kids know, but they'll know, and that's their mission to bring it forward.
Yeah.
What's your feeling?
Going back to maybe old ways. So being born, hopefully, when the old system that we've all been living in for all our lives is breaking down, and you know, we'll be bringing in a new generations of old souls or very intuitive youngsters that will only know this transformational new
way. And I think
new way.
And I do think that's interesting, because I think they will come with what I will call technology knowledge, but used in the right way. So they will be accepting of all the technology and understanding it, but in a way their ancients are most probably not our ancients of Earth. I think for us, the ancients of Earth remind us about community, love, and all those things. Their ancients, I think, will be much more technologically advanced, but with the right technology, and not technology that is going to maybe create half hybrid humans and all that sort of thing.
Don't you think they would also be the generation that will be able, with their innate knowledge and their intuition, to actually be able to tackle climate change, you know, to actually really deal with these problems that we've got?
Well, yeah, I think they will be able to know what to do with the Earth.
Yeah. I definitely. Sorry, I've got a restive dog. Oh dear.
Ellie, thanks.
Yeah, does that make sense, Ruth?
Yeah, absolutely. Back to my friend with the good news.
Yeah. So that's that. You know, I think that's how I feel about the being born in an indigo year. Just really open to that technology, but for the right reasons.
Yeah. I mean, technology is not bad, is it? It's just
it's just how you use it.
Absolutely.
Like all things.
Who's in control?
Yeah, exactly. Like all things. Yeah, thank you, Ruth. Thank you. Anybody else got anything else? Okay, well, I am going to stop recording. Say thank you very much for joining me this evening. I hope you go away with some additional information. If you're on my Facebook light and colour group, if you're on Facebook, I have a light and colour group where I post weekly colours in, as well as monthly and annual colours as well. As I say, anything that you need, just get in touch, and then I will most probably do something in the spring. and see how far let's go for the next stage, and where are we after the first quarter, what's going to happen in the second quarter. Let's see what brings us, so that people can join again and see if we've moved on more comfortably, and whether we're enjoying that Indigo year. So thank you very much for your time and for your energy. It's been lovely feeling all your energies with it, and I wish you all a very intuitive year, and just remember to have that orange around for some fun. So thank you very much, ladies. Bye.